It's one round. That's all.
Oh, it wasn't my fucking pop off 1v3 clutch moment.
Secure the bombs.
Yeah,
Wasn't one of
honestly,
those
if you can clutch 1v3 as a unit, then I give you credit like you're god.
I've done it. I've actually done it.
I've done a 1v2 as
I got the finishing with the shotgun.
Mira's gun, just too little ammo for me, clutch.
Yeah,
because
exactly. It needs an extended magazine. Mira's gun needs an extended magazine, in my opinion.
Yeah.
No, why did you?
What?
What happened?
They reinforced that wall.
Oops.
10 seconds to insert.
Yeah, you nailed one.
I can't believe you've done this.
I'm sorry.
5 seconds to insert.
Recently, I got a clutch with Vigil. Just playing ranked. It was a 1v5. I had 1 HP and I clutched with Vigil.
Nice.
It was actually I had to take a 3-minute break before I could do anything.
That's fair.
I got a
I remember my first ever clutch, it was Rook P90, no attachments at all, back in Operation Health.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 1v3, I think. I probably shouldn't have won it, to be fair.
So far, there's only one operator I have not aced with yet, and that's because I have not played a single round with it. And that's Warden, because I don't like Warden.
Classical.
I think the stairs by me. Definitely stairs by me. Dude, when I say there's somebody pushing me, can somebody actually fucking come and back me up?
No.
I didn't know where you were.
Coming in over at the fucking stairs. We got way too many people outside. Those stairs, she's fucking lit. Hit her once. There's more than one.
Hit on stairs.
I hear one to my left, west door. I think Olive got her.
Like, I stopped shooting because I thought I had fucking downed her. Because Mira's gun is just such a fucking piece of crap.
I don't know what you're talking about. Mir's Vector is absolutely amazing.
You have to get headshots with it, though.
Yeah,
And
that's
if it-
the-
unless it's a-
You have to get headshots, but it is so good at getting headshots.
It's good at getting headshots when you're not fucking concussed by Sophia twice.
Well, even then, you just aim at head level.
I can't
then-
see it, dude. I was in blue room. This bitch blended in with the wall. I shot her black vest because that's what I could see.
Stop standing.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Yeah. Nice work, sis.
Jesus.
what are these frost plays that keep working? Miss,
Oh, no, this
miss,
is
third
just-
time's a charm.
No.
Well, okay, so they're either there for distraction or they actually work.
That whole thing just should not have worked. The hell?
No, it should not.
That bothers me that it worked.
Alright, first political topip.
Oh no, politics.
Prince Andrew. You joined the motherfucking politics stream. If you got a problem with politics, take it out to your kitty litter box.
Kitty litter
I
box.
will. Alright, fire, I will.
You do that. You do that. So Prince Andrew is pictured inside the pedophile Jeffrey Epstein's $63 million mansion of depravity 9 years ago. And how did he miss the sign of the billionaire's sexual deviance? This is from the Daily Mail, co.uk. So you got princes that are showing up at this guy's place too. You got all kinds of big actors. And in line with that, the reason why I wanted to mention that is because now we have Patricia Hewitt, who's calling for the age of consent to be lowered to 10.
10?
Yeah.
You fucking just say 10?
10.
Okay. Even Japan, they are over here at what, age of consent being 13, right? Even that is way too fucking low.
I
Why the hell
mean,
would you even go lower than that?
You've located a bomb.
You don't,
Way to its location. and
but we're not much higher. The actual federal age of consent for the United States is 14.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Wow.
State laws can raise
Differ.
it, but the federal age of consent is 14.
That's crazy. That's disgusting.
How the hell do you know this?
Because I had an interest in going to law school at one point.
That's fair.
That's disgusting.
Sounds
Oh, doc.
sounds fun actually. Yeah, you're dead, Bella.
Nice.
Law school or the 10-year-old?
I mean, depending on where you stand in society, probably both.
Well, apparently Epstein thought on the 10-year-old level.
Yeah, that's just not.
Yes, please don't shoot me.
Your head is in the way. Oh, good job,
Why
you.
didn't you shoot him? Station's over here, Bella. If you didn't know.
Oh shit, who's that?
So this is from the Telegraph.co.uk. Patricia Hewitt was forced to apologize after it was revealed that she had called for the age of sexual consent to be lowered to 10. The document published in the former Labor cabinet minister's name also called for incest to be legalized.
Disgusting.
There's
There's some messed up people.
Again, technically, it isn't illegal.
What
Like
is
In
incest.
most places,
It-
it's
whoa,
fucking
whoa, whoa,
illegal.
hold on.
No, I'm talking federally. Again, it's funny that these things are being called out to be legalized, but people don't know that they already are. So it should be the opposite of calling for the illegalization,
Yeah.
The only one on site right now.
because it is legal, and that should be what the debate is. Because
He's
it's
in the,
not so much people calling for it that is the worst part. The worst part is that it actually.
Oh, just go for the plant. We'll cover the.
It's freaking terrifying, though, actually. Like,
Shit.
who does that affect the most? That affects the 10-year-old little girl who basically is at home with her father, and her dad's like, "Hey, hun, it's legal."
Yeah.
Online and active.
All of directly crossing my line of fire. I hate the best.
Good job.
Op 4 neutralized.
I had to itch my head, so I knew Olive would have that. And I was like, I'm gonna itch my head really fast. Lean to the left. And you picked Olive's direction anyways.
So this is what we see more and more. I wanted to get your guys' opinions on the overall scope of this whole transgender thing and how it affects all these kids. Because we're seeing these kids that are, there was recently, it was actually on freaking ABC and NBC News. They were parading this kid around in woman's clothes that were almost like nothing at all. And he even went to a strip club and was dancing around provocatively in front of men for dollar bills. If you had any, like, 12-year-old even girl in a strip club dancing, they would be all the fuck over that. But since it's a 9-year-old transgender kid, whoa,
Even that's okay. A kid doesn't really have an understanding of any of this. They may have an idea about it, like once they're 16 and in high school, and they're actually getting talked about it. But even so,
Found a bomb.
a parent shouldn't be having to allow this and even encourage it until like they're like 18, if that's what they want.
Be advised your drone has
18,
located a
17,
bomb.
somewhere around there, yeah. Because
Well, they're legal adults by then. That at that point they can make their own
10
decisions.
seconds.
honestly, I would say like more near 17 because they're starting to
5 seconds.
like get the idea of what becoming an adult is. Granted, they're not quite an adult,
Proceed to
but
bomb location.
still,
Anything right here?
Use it.
like they're getting the basic idea of what it means to become an adult.
But having to
Well, and it's
force
funny because-
or God,
So there was a comedian recently who he had said, "I'm not sure And he didn't even say he's against it. He said, I'm not sure if it's such a good idea to be saying that 3-year-olds can choose their own gender and we mutilate their genitals at that point and pump them full of drugs that are going to change their life forever. Well, he said that, now he's losing his job. What 3-year-old has the ability to cognitively think for themselves? Like, I know for damn sure my 3-year-old would be dead if I left him alone for probably 24 to 48 hours. Is that the stage and age where you're like, yeah, this is the time when I'm going to let my kid decide what's going to happen for the rest of his life?
Oh, good job.
No, that's way too fucking early. Like Miz was saying earlier, maybe when you're 18, 17, like get them talking about it and get the idea going on.
Well, and the other thing that nobody's talking about when it comes to it is the amount of people who are committing suicide who are transgender. And they're blaming people all over the place, and they're saying that, oh, it's because of bullying, it's because of this, it's because of all that. No, there's no possible way that it is because of that. You have rates of suicide that are the same as, actually, they're just the same as or worse as what they had in internment camps for the Jews in Hitler's era, when they knew they were basically going to turn into crispy critters and smoke was going to gas. Like, that's how much the transgender community is committing suicide. And so we actually have a term for it, gender dysphoria, that ended up transpiring and taking place. And is it reasonable? Is it logical to say that we as a society should support this and endorse this and try to bring about this when it's causing these people so much harm even so? So if you have somebody who is experiencing difficulties, I'll invite everybody real quick. Misfire. Fish.
Where I have a problem with it, like really bad, is from 10 and under. To me, I consider that child abuse, because when you're trying to say that you want to, like, basically mutilate your son's penis off so he's a girl, because he's apparently saying he's a girl, but why is he getting those ideas? Because him on his own, my kid don't say stuff like that, oh, I'm a girl. No. Where, like, kids start thinking about it is because they're being heard about it.
Well, and the thing is, there's certain times. I remember my son asking me the questions of, so, Daddy, Mommy wears dresses, why don't I wear dresses? And I'm like, because that's just not what we do. But you could easily, very easily, if you're more lenient on that and thinking that's that way, you'd be like, oh, well, you can wear dresses if you like. And then it basically could create a problem, because anytime kids love attention. They do.
Yep.
That's why they're kids. They're screaming in places. They're doing other things. They want attention. And so if you dress them up in something that's not a social norm, you may well cause them to enjoy that attention, even though it's not good attention. If your kid goes into a store and screams at the top of his lungs, it's not good attention, but he'll have attention.
Yeah.
And he may even like it. And so we're now in a situation to where we're saying that, oh, because my son then asked me, why don't I wear dresses? Because you're a boy. And that's why. And now it's all trucks and everything else and everything normal. And there's no problem with that. But it's a question. And if you choose to answer the question wrong, that's where I think we get off track. There was a famous guy who was trying to actually prove, he's actually used in all the literary hoopla to prove that gender is a construct. And he actually raised his kids. He raised one of them who was a male as a biological female. And he raised one of them who was a male as a biological male, and he tried to raise them up that way and made them perform sexual acts with each other. This is a guy who is being taught prolifically in our schools. Well, his kids both ended up terrible, terrible situations, and I believe one, if not both of them, killed themselves. I believe the transgender girl killed himself, after all of this time of experiencing this abuse. And that's basically what it is. Is it more I struggle with it because I feel like it's all on the same lines of like schizophrenia. Like you hear voices and they're not really there.
Hmm.
Is it better to tell somebody that, oh yeah, you
Secure the
definitely
bomb.
hear those voices, but they may or may not be good? Or is it better to tell them, hey, that's probably not the greatest idea, let's get you some lithium and call it a day? God, Magnus is not wanting to let me play. He's like, pet me!
Your dog, right?
Yeah. He keeps trying to go underneath my arm.
Your dog seems like a good pet.
He is. And I think the other big problem that we have is we have a society that's not willing to talk about it at all. They act like talking about it is akin to the devil and you're going to be inciting violence towards everybody else. I have no ill will towards it. In fact, I want the best lives and best circumstances for anybody who ends up
Nomad
coming
coming.
across.
Nomad coming. Turtle.
Deploying welcome mat. Barbed wire deployed.
You really got a reinforcement for that?
I do, but I'm stuck over here.
Hey, Miz, can you barricade that door?
Her little pumper head from Nomad just
Wait,
kinda-
what? What am I doing?
Op 4 found a bomb. You must defend it.
They got a twitch, but luckily enough I got the...
What were you
Go
saying?
up to the other- Can you barricade that door so nobody just comes through garage?
Yeah.
And then somebody needs to watch my other mirror. Because there's a push.
Barricade.
And I got lucky that she hit me, not the fucking cannon was there.
A Habana.
Okay, group, someone's
She's
coming in
50.
trying to get him from garage.
Fish. Two
Let's go
coming
see
from
that again.
northeast.
That's
it.
nope. Getting the other hatch as well. One went it.
Fish hard left. Right.
Got one.
Service.
Friendly, last operator standing.
Shit, fuck my life.
Left.
Me?
Miz. Oh, lever.
He's right in the doorway there, to your right. That other to the right a little more. He was in that doorway. That one. That's where he got me. You see him? You're looking at him!
Oh god! I should use my handgun.
Oh, Miz is ping, that's why. I was like, Miz? Just stay back, stay back. He's got ACOG. If he peeks you, you're gonna lose that fight.
Yep.
Make him rush, Miss. You have traps.
Yeah, make him push you. Reload your shotgun.
15 seconds left. 10 seconds to go. 5 seconds to
Watch
go.
it back.
Oh, okay. What happened?
I'm trying. No, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with
happened
Miz.
and we won. That's
Yeah.
what happened. It was a beautiful thing.
I somehow feel empty with this win. Like, I wasn't sure what was going on.
Your pain
I
makes
somehow
me
feel
feel
empty.
empty.
Right? So that can make you
Oh.
feel
Pain
good
makes me
tonight.
feel empty.
Meanwhile, me and Demon are here
Oh,
on like,
God.
you know, 30. Everyone else is above 60 at least.
135, 97.
At least double than ours. At least.
105.
Dude, I'm gonna be getting that Tesla internet as soon as we can.
What is your provider? Because mine's AT&T, which is ass.
My provider is
Secure
a
the bomb.
Sprint MiFi hotspot.
Oh.
So you guys didn't actually say what your feelings were on the whole transgender thing. Like,
That's because they're trying not to get ruined. They're gonna end up on CNBC.
Oh no!
Whoa.
My take on gender. I told you guys last night already. My take on gender is unless you can change your last two chromosomes from either being an X and a Y or a Y and a Y, you're gonna be male or female your entire life. You can do whatever you want to your body. Doesn't mean shit. You're still gonna be a male or a female genetically.
But I'm sure we have
I
at
think-
least someone who disagrees, and we want to hear everyone's
Well-
point of view.
My point of view on that is there needs to be a distinction between gender and sex, because there is a difference. Where sex being your biological sex, what your chromosomes are, which is important, particularly for me because I'm still going to law. I'm going into medical school. It's important to know those kind of things because certain sexes are predispositioned to different genetic diseases to a higher degree or a lesser degree, depending on what it specifically what you're talking about. Personally, if someone wants, I think of gender in that sense as based upon what society dictates or what has been dictated through the evolution of human culture back, tens of thousands of years ago, right? What has been dictated to be the course that we have evolved socially. If you are sexually a male, but you want to be genderly a female, that's fine. But there needs to be a clear distinction between the two.
Oh, shit.
If someone wants to be a female who is male, I don't have a problem with that. I don't care if that's what you want to do, but you still have to understand that sexually you are a male, which does carry consequences for your health based upon your lifestyle and based upon your genetics that you have to be aware of. But as far as that's pretty much the only line I draw.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. I never thought about the genetic aspect of it and possible diseases.
Op
And
4, last stop standing.
Nice shooting, fish. That was brutal.
No,
No, I understand that side of it, but I find it very interesting the methodologies that they use behind these things because they want gender and sex to be deemed different, and then they want them to be deemed exactly the same as well. And even they seem to be confused about what truly it is. So there's a lot of people who, like we were talking about yesterday, who will go in and they'll say they're a woman even though they're biologically a man when they go to the doctor.
That's our fish. He's gonna be up top near Demon.
Yeah. And which is why I think there needs to be a distinction between the terms being a woman and a man between being male and female.
Well, and the distinction itself would be
It's purely
like you have
genetic.
arms over it. Yeah.
Seconds to go.
It's a purely genetic thing. It's a purely genetic point that I'm standing
Good job.
upon, and nothing else. I don't care if someone wants to be a woman. That's none of my business, and they can go for it. They have every right to do so as a human being. But you're still genetically a male, which medically is important. And that's my point. That's the point I was trying to make. If you want to be a woman, that's fine, but you are still a male. For me, I draw a very clear distinction that one is biological and genetic, and the other one is what you do with your life.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, if you're gonna do whatever you're gonna do, you can do it. But I'm not like I said, that's my take. I'm not gonna tell anybody. Whoops. I'm not gonna tell anybody you can't. Like Riv said in here, he said if you want to cut off your dick, go ahead. Exactly. If you want to do it, go ahead. More power to you. I'm not gonna stop you. But
Yeah.
don't completely lose your shit and cut somebody out, or cause a big ass problem when someone doesn't want to completely agree with the fact that you call yourself a woman if you're not.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, there is nothing legally protecting somebody from calling me an asshole or a woman or something like that I'm not.
Absolutely.
But they seem to think that they should have government regulation to say whether or not you can say their correct pronouns.
Op 4 has yet to locate a bomb.
Yeah, no, I would draw the line there.
Yeah.
It can get to be
Personally, if I believe someone is a man, not male, but is a man, again, I'm trying to make a clear distinction between a gender and a sex, right? From my point of view.
I just now saw her. Jesus.
If I think that someone is a man, but they identify as a woman, if they politely tell me that no, I identify as a woman, I'll be like, oh, okay, right? If they flip out about it, I'm just gonna fucking leave it because I don't give a shit, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me whether or not. What matters to me is the attitude that you present it with. And if you're in a position where you do identify as a gender differing from your sex, and you don't like how someone is acting towards that, it's very easy to just completely remove someone from your life.
Yeah.
It's not difficult. You don't need to carry on about it. You just move on and forget about it ever happening.
Well, in devil's advocate here, you do have a situation to where people will commonly mispronounce somebody who doesn't want to be called that. So take, for instance, the guy who was the guy lady in GameStop who it's not a guy, it's a ma'am. And he's all freaking out and what. But you have all of that going on, and I could see where that would be frustrating, but by the same token, it's not a social norm. It's like the people who try to equate a hermaphrodite
Hatch.
to being transgender. And saying, well, they could identify as either gender because they were naturally born biologically with both sexual parts.
They're all fucking in sight. Twitch was you're behind Twitch right now. Must have killed her.
Ooh.
Mission failed. All friendly
Nice.
neutralized.
We did not reinforce at all.
I
apparently.
reinforced. Well, I thought it was a major part, but it's helping.
That wall is definitely major priority to get reinforced.
Yeah, that was my bad too. I got thrown off by the
Did you
fact that I
even
was
put down your reinforcement?
Nope.
I put down my
Yeah.
reinforcements. Don't you
No,
do it?
Negatory. I was
Okay, I know.
bad
Yeah, fair.
teammate.
I think I'm more okay with someone who's 18 and up deciding to make a decision like that, but I feel uncomfortable if you try to make it to where you are saying a child. The max would be 15 and the lowest would be like 10 down. Of saying that, hey, I'm going to have my kid go through the little
Locate a bomb.
sex change surgery because they say, but I don't know, I feel like that's a little too young to make a decision where you're going to cause a big change like that at that age.
No, I 100% agree. I feel that someone as young as, say, 14 can make the decision whether or not they feel like a man or a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they shouldn't be put through any sort of gender therapy, be it through, a sex change operation or hormone therapy, until they have gone through puberty.
Make your way to its location.
That makes sense in that case.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
we
is-
don't let
not
kids
putting
have
on-
certain drugs for that same reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the thing that I think about it,
Bomb has been located. The diffuser is no longer
hard
in
right,
possession.
hard right. There's Ella.
The diffuser is now secured.
Enemy located. Basement.
I feel like going heavy.
Got her.
Nice
Good
work.
job.
I was saying push in. I couldn't push past Rift.
I know I wasn't able sure where to move. Oh, okay. Okay.
Hold on, let me drone. Let me fucking drone.
I'm watching stairs where the soda machine is.
Oh, dude. Okay, easy plant. Easy plant.
What Hikumatini? Sure, Doc is on 30 something, he's in garage. Watch out.
Diffuser is online and active.
Oh, hatch. Hatch.
Nice try. He's up, staircase above.
What?
One friendly operator remaining.
Fuck.
On this one, stairwell.
Shit. I tried getting out, but I ran into the wall.
She got
Dude,
the alibi.
Yeah, she got the alibi. I should have killed that Jaeger, dude. He was at 3 HP with the DS. I hit him 3 times.
Mission is a failure.
Nice try, guys. They're just kind of good, in my opinion. Or should I, like, be saying hacks?
That's just aggravating. Man, I'm trying not to get pissed off at this game at the same time not getting pissed off at politics. This is fucking hard.
All right. So on to another topic. So Portland is in utter turmoil right now because Antifa's been roaring their shit all over the place, and they've been causing a whole bunch of problems. And now you've got the Proud Boys, 2 million bikers, and the 3%ers that all showed up. And in addition to a whole bunch of other people that consider themselves patriots and nationalists, not to be confused with white nationalists.
We need to locate a
Nationalists just
bomb.
means people that support and love their country, as every good American should do. And if you don't, fuck you.
Not to be confused with white supremacists, because I'm a nationalist, but I'm not white.
Yeah, she's a Mexican nationalist for America.
I don't know if there's a proper term for it. I'm Hispanic, who's an American nationalist. Let's go with that.
Well, and that's the problem. That's the problem that I see is the left and the media as a whole. They are so good at
10 seconds
euphemisms
before insertion.
and making things like something else. So
5 seconds to go.
the alt-right and white supremacists literally call themselves white fucking supremacists and alt-right. They coined the term alt-right. They're not white nationalists. You hear them constantly saying, oh, the alt-right is a euphemism for white nationalists. I'm getting lagged.
I wonder what.
And they say these things because what they're trying to do is they're trying to make the name nationalist bad. And we see that by the fact that there's a lot of schools now that are saying that you can't use the word American because it's racist.
Wait, what? Excuse me, bitch?
Yeah. The term American and America is a racist term. According to, I believe it was University of Connecticut.
Open area. Capcan behind a desk.
Oh, I got clapped. Our alibi is down to 25 health.
Oh, Riven. I was actually
Riven,
born
right,
here in America, but my parents immigrated from Mexico. They came here legally. So I'm first generation American.
Alright, I'm gonna call again.
He's dead.
So what is University of Connecticut's justification for declaring the use of the word American as a racist? I'll say slur for you.
They didn't justify it. In fact, after there was blowback, they ended up changing it. But originally, they released it. Let me see. Before I say any particular university, I'm gonna get my shit straight.
Okay. And then, was it published by the university or a student of the university?
By the university.
Okay.
Op 4 last
Okay, I almost fucked that up. Y'all get cameras now.
Okay, it wasn't Connecticut. It was Colorado.
Okay.
America and American listed among words to avoid in Colorado State University. This is from townhall.com. Colorado State University included the words America and
I hate 'em.
American on the list of language to avoid because they're not inclusive. The school's inclusive communication task force compiled a list of words to
Nice
include
job.
an inclusive language guide to serve and help those on the campus foster inclusion and respect and social justice. The guide states that it is not about being political correct, but instead it is to help communications practice for inclusive language and make everyone on campus feel welcome, respected, and valued. And so, I mean, that's bullshit.
Yeah, I don't see how saying America or American is somehow. At least to me, it sounds like they're saying it's hate speech, but as a minority, I don't see it like that. Like, I don't. How is America going to offend me? It doesn't.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna repeat this from the same stupid joke as yesterday, but everybody who can run, jump, or swim already escaped from Mexico and came over here anyway. That's why America's fucking better than Mexico. That should be like the quintessential that you take back from. We already take in more immigrants than any other nation on the freaking face of the earth. Germany is the next behind us, and everyone behind them is 1/5 of that, taking in what we do as far as immigrants. So to say that we can just willy-nilly have anybody who wants to freaking come over here and all the criminals is absolutely entirely bullshit, in my opinion.
Have a dog.
And if you don't love your country, feel free to find a country that you do love and get the fuck out of mine before you ruin it.
Yeah.
The average life of a constitution is only 17 years from any country that's tried to do it. And in America, we've now, I believe it's like 236 years now we've had our constitution. Maybe slightly more than that, slightly less. It's a rough approximation, but it's in that fucking ballpark. So when you compare it to other nations, yeah, we've done a pretty damn good job of dealing with what we need to as Americans. Building up the greatest empire since the freaking.
Oh fuck! I gave myself away. Shit. Valkyrie.
Maybe I made that particular thumbnail at the beginning of the stream because I knew I was constantly going to be like this.
I'm gonna hack phone. Hi, dog. Let me hack. Cover me. Just go ahead of me, Riv, so that way it's fine and they see you first, please. I don't. It's kind of stuck. All right, cool. Perfect. All right, we got it. I'm gonna check the cameras. So they got a Valkyrie. So I'm stealing these cameras. Oh, hello. We got Valkyrie right here. Dude. Oh shit, there's a Valkyrie right behind us.
Is no longer in your possession.
Fuck, I got you. Oh,
It was just a EDD. You can pick, I should be safe to pick up. Keywords should be.
I like how he double checks. He doesn't trust your word for it. He's like, yeah.
I should be.
I guess protect the thingamajigger.
Hi, bitch. How's it going?
It's going good. How are you, Amy?
Oh, nice try.
Alive.
Dry fish.
I'm alive. Oh. Do you want me to call again?
Yes, please.
Alright, calling.
Alright, so let's do this. On here right now. What is going into the 2020 election? What are the top things on your priority list that you want to see
Oh,
done?
why was he proning? Okay. He's proning under window. There's a claymore covering the hole in the wall in mid.
15 seconds remaining.
Oh, that flick.
That's awesome.
There's one to your right. To your right.
Hard right.
Yep.
5 seconds remaining. Your last operator.
Go on, bro.
Jesus.
Behind me, Ethan.
Fuck.
Yep.
Oh, nice try.
Scenario, you can't tell different.
Yeah, there's nothing I could do.
That's
Okay.
If I'd been like off to my left, I might have been able to get it. If I'd been like off to the left or right, I probably would have gotten him.
So going into the 2020 election, what would you guys say is the most important thing to you guys that right now is amongst our politics and what you want our politicians to deal with? What is it?
Abortion.
You list 3 things.
Oh, okay. Abortion, immigration, or well, I guess it's yeah. And the whole like getting rid of the whole gun control thing.
I think actually Miss just stole my top 3: abortion, immigration, and gun control.
Yeah, pretty much.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not like the abortion part. I'm like, but like the gun control and the immigration. Please don't reinforce that fire. What are you?
So what would be your 3rd thing that you care about then?
I'm trying to think of it. Probably veterans, really.
Yeah, that's good.
Like taking care of them, because they a lot of them sacrifice. Basically, every single one of them sacrificed some, while others have sacrificed everything.
Barbed wire
Yeah.
deployed.
Increased surveillance on
Yeah, I can
bombs.
agree with that too.
yet we still can somehow get away with
And
it.
yet we treat a lot of them like fucking dog shit.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Welcome mat deployed.
Yeah, I finally did something.
Woo, fire got a kill.
Op
Woo.
4 has
Took him 6 rounds, but
For me personally, the top 3 for me would be the support of veterans who are actually struggling. The reintegration of released prisoners back into society.
yeah.
And furthering the development of nuclear power.
Well, and I definitely agree with the nuclear power. I want to see more
Fuck,
done with the
garage.
thorium reactors, and nobody seems to be
Garage.
talking about that at all. They seems to be talking about the solar and the wind and all the other crap.
Solar and wind is okay. So solar and wind can be good, but not on a large scale.
Well, it's not even green. Like, it's okay if you're gonna be trying to power a cell phone charger in the middle of the wilderness. All power to you.
Yeah, well, I mean, so there are instances where solar panels could be good, such as, you know, roofing solar panels and covering parking lots with solar
It's
panels.
gotten better, but how much it actually takes to make that solar panel originally, and then the degradation of the solar panel afterwards.
Well,
it's
only just
40% of your ability to produce power within the first 14 years.
Yeah, well, with not well-made panels, yes. With well-made panels, with well-made panels, they retain at least 80% of their effectiveness over 22 years.
There's no way.
Yeah.
What the
And
fuck?
we
Nobody.
don't have the statistics
Fine,
on
drop
that
the
either
ball.
because we don't have the time frames on it yet. It sounds like one just got in a frostbite.
Yeah. That's
But wind power,
I said Hibana was involved, by the way. And
land-based wind power is absolutely atrocious.
look to your left, Riven.
I'm gonna say now I have no faith in you at all.
But nuclear power is
Right.
the way to go, and we do need to focus on reintegrating released criminals into society. We need to figure out a good, viable solution to
Have any body armor?
returning them into productive members of society rather than just casting them away to let them recidivate.
And I don't think that's the case. In fact, I take a completely different
I'm for the death penalty for. Well, I'm more for like violent crimes as if murder, you know, like murder, rape, and
I'm saying people
like
who
that.
are released, not reintegrating people who are currently serving sentences, people who have finished their sentences. Because if we do not institute programs to help return them to society in a productive manner, they very well will continue on committing crimes against society, which is counterproductive for everyone involved.
Well, and that's the thing. When you look at it, the vast majority of people who get released from prison for these violent offenses and for the offenses that they're criminalized for in the first place, we have a system right now that is letting people out. This guy who
Riven.
just turned around and roaming with the gladiator pits and shit.
Yeah, more views in the
Your
Super
fits
Bowl.
and shit?
So here's the thing.
Drone has
We
located a bomb.
have a returning population that is mass amounts. I think it's somewhere up along the lines of 85% of the violent criminals that get out go back almost immediately. And you're literally putting the citizens in danger because of that. But when you look at it as a
5 seconds
whole,
before insertion.
what ends up happening is because we're releasing these people so early and
Found a
not
bomb.
giving them
Take
strict
it to its
enough
location.
offenses, then you're basically creating a system by which you are enabling them to commit these crimes. So in California recently, we passed a bill
Right there,
over
shotgun, right there.
over
God damn it.
800 people. Nice.
You have
I shot,
located a
but
bomb.
nothing happened. So
Anything over $800 or anything under $800 is only a misdemeanor. It's not even a felony. So police don't even show up to the crime at that point.
Yeah. Although I have to disagree with the stricter sentences make people do less crimes. That's not true.
Well, there's one garage.
And it has been proven time and time again with several different countries.
Okay, so
It's, but the issue is no the issue is
What the
Friendly operator
fuck?
remaining.
Who has a better way?
User is active.
who has a better way. What are you asking exactly? Who has a better way?
Okay, so who has done better with their criminal system than us?
Diffuser was disabled.
Norway.
Okay, Norway has like
And Denmark.
Not even. No, you're talking about populations. Which,
No, I am talking about recidivism rate percentages per capita.
Okay. So here's my problem with it. You have way too many people who are bad people who we should have done off a long time ago. I believe we should make the death penalty to be a lot stricter and a lot more stringent. If you attack somebody with the intention to murder them, you should be killed.
yeah, I agree with that.
It depends though, because if you make it super strict, where when something happens, wrongful convictions happen all the time.
Okay, so take.
It does happen
Philadelphia.
quite a lot.
Take Philadelphia recently. Philadelphia recently had a shooting to where 6 cops, maybe more, were injured.
Yes.
And they were trying to serve a warrant on a guy that they believed had firearms, who had something like 9 firearms possessions and violent robberies and things like
I know about that.
And he got released over and over again, and he goes right back to it. You will have these people. And
No, what I'm trying to say is people who are proven not just beyond a reasonable doubt, but with you know, without a shadow of a doubt that they are guilty, then yes. But in the case where it's trying to be like where someone is just convicted, or someone pleads guilty to it because they can't afford a lawyer, they can't afford to pay that, they can't afford bail, they can't do anything like that, and they're told that, you know, if they plead guilty, then they might get a reduced sentence, they're going to go for that, and then it can be turned around, no, death penalty. And it happens all the time. I'm not saying it happens a majority of the time, but it happens an excessive amount of time for what it should. And if it were made more strict in delivering the death sentence to people, it would be even worse.
okay, let's look up the statistics on that.
I believe it's about 5% of people who are killed by death penalty are later proven innocent.
So it's an error rate of 0.027%, or to put it another way, a success rate of 99.973% so far since the statistics that we have from 1989 to 2003.
That was 16 years ago. Or, well, I don't
I
want to do the
know.
math from the first date, but
Unfortunately, what we have is we have a society like the CDC has studies that they've done and studies that they've put together that they don't publish because they deem it would be racist. Like when you actually break it down, one of the studies that they recently released as far as mass shootings, if you include gang crime, which I believe should be included in mass shootings, the black populace is responsible for more than 75% of all mass shootings. And that's a scary thought. And I don't want to go down any lines or anything way across that board because we are all part of the human race. But there is a systemic thing that happened in the 1960s that we have records of, and that is the CIA that is actually paying rappers and paying people to sing songs that are going to encourage violence. You had Rick Ross, who came out. You can look up the interview on YouTube to where he said that, yeah, we were commissioned by the CIA to say that we were going to make these songs about beating women and
Secure the bomb.
drugs and all the rest of this and running drugs, and we have. So yeah, we as a country are responsible for that. I don't think it's a white thing. I think overall across the board, it is a thing that happened. I don't even think it's a majority thing of what we wanted to cause. I know there's a lot of people, the people that I've met who are wealthy, who I've met personally, those people all agree that get hanged up anytime you can. Nothing like that.
Drone cheat thing. Buddy,
Deployed.
we can talk about this,
10 seconds to insertion.
Also, I'm still waiting for an invite.
Yeah, I know.
5
They've gone
seconds
through
to insertion.
games and haven't invited him.
Bomb located by Op 4.
Make an escape. Make an escape.
I kind of like, I half agree with what you're saying on the whole death penalty thing. I believe that under the shadow of a doubt that this person committed a crime, then they should put, I go as far as public execution, because that's just
No.
myself, but
I would actually say that as well, because right now
I
we're
don't
making
think
heroes out
I
of
don't think we
shooters
should
and
ever
making
regress
heroes
to
out of
making the even vile criminals, people who do horrible things like Ted Bundy. I don't think we should ever regress back to making the deaths of other people a public spectacle.
And I think we should.
yeah, me too.
I don't.
One upstairs, one upstairs, one upstairs.
Why?
Because it's not how a civilized society should behave.
Says who?
We shouldn't make the execution of people
is
entertainment.
civilized? What is
Well, it's
civilized
not
in-
meant to be
nowadays?
entertainment. What it
Oh,
is
it absolutely would be entertainment. People going to watch people get executed would absolutely be an entertainment.
Okay, so let me tell you something. My son acts up.
I had
He's
shots,
4.
sledge, whatever.
He acts up quite a
Sledge is
bit.
on 30.
And today he's acting up in the store because he doesn't get a toy car that he wants. And I tell him I'm going to pull his teeth. That doesn't work. I tell him I'm going to give him a spanking. That doesn't work. I tell him, okay, guess what? I'm going to go to the front of the store and I'm going to make an announcement to everyone at
man's
the
getting
store that I'm
fucked up
going
by
to
a Twitch
spank
drone.
you in public.
Yeah, saved his life.
Right now, right here. And everyone is going to join around
Low-key,
watching
just
you
got
getting
read by
spanked
Twitch
in public.
drone.
Do you know what he said? No, Daddy, no, I don't want that to happen. You have social abilities to turn around and socially shame these people instead of making them social heroes. And right now, we have shooters that are being made social heroes. And so, yeah, I'm actually, as far as to say, I believe we could skin alive any shooter that goes out there and
You get
publicly shoots up a whole bunch
He
of
dropped, he
people.
dropped.
Who shoots a 4-year-old kid in the back. Skin him the fuck alive. Because you know what? The next shooter who thinks of that, he's not even going to attempt that. And if he does,
Nice job,
he
you
knows
guys.
he's not going to make it out alive.
No, because the thing is, a lot of people who do that don't care. They don't care that they're going to die or how they're going to die. They don't care. They don't have the mental capacity to care. It
So why
won't
would
deter it.
the last 3 shooters that we had in Gilroy and frickin' over in El Paso and in
Where the
Ohio,
fuck is Gilroy?
In California. We had, in fact, it's not even that far, but it's like 2.5 hours.
Kitchen.
And so we had that, and all three of those shooters, they were wearing body armor and hearing freaking protection and glasses and shit like that. They intended to make it up. And this is the new thing. We have the media who are blowing these people up into freaking celebrities that are going to be talked about for weeks on ends, and they think, well, I'm just going to be arrested and thrown in the slammer because we generally don't do death penalty anymore. So I'm just going to get to live my days out in whatever way I want. Shit, I'm already living in a box. Why not live in one a little bit tighter? Wow, it has got lag.
Yeah, you're 300 ping, bud. How you feel?
I'm doing alright.
Nice job, you guys, on the last game. That was pretty cool.
They got Twitch again, by the way.
Wire.
Twitch?
I didn't get the drone though.
10 seconds. Down to 5 seconds. Be advised, a bomb location has been compromised.
Can't wait for the fucking castle rework.
Bomb located by Op
They're
4.
making a rework on Castle? The fuck?
Eventually, no one has any idea what it's gonna be like or when it's gonna be.
Imagine to
But no,
Our rework.
regardless of what someone does, the execution of people should not become a public spectacle. We have, as a society, we've moved on from doing that, and it's a good thing that we have.
Really? Because what
Yes.
we've actually seen is an increase in crime amongst these people who are doing these type of things and people who are doing it literally for mass spectacle. Like, why do you have manifestos that are posted online? They want people to talk at them. They want people to read their material. They want to influence ideas.
Yeah, so quietly execute them and let them be forgotten.
But we're not doing that, and we don't have a way to force the media to do that. So the only thing we actually have a way to do is to shut them down. And I wouldn't advocate to be able to shut the media's reporting down on that, because the problem is the media's reporting is part of the First Amendment right to be able to speak freely. And I support that fully. Support that right to speak freely, but in the time that they're speaking freely, they're turning it into spectacles already, and the spectacles without any type of repercussions that are known to the public. If I tell my son, hey, you're going to get a spanking if you do this, he's far less likely to do it. But we don't even have that anymore as a general public and population. Nice shot, Olive.
And drop hatch.
I think it would be a great deterrent. I don't think it would be morally right, but I think it'd be a great deterrent. And I don't believe it would even be supported by the Constitution. So I'm torn on that aspect. Because
no, it would. Right. I don't think it would, because you do have a protection against cruel and unusual punishment.
Yes, you do.
One friendly remaining.
And I think being skinned alive in public would, regardless of what you did, fall into the category of cruel and unusual.
Well, I wouldn't go that far on my end. I'd just say kill him.
Take, for instance, the Gilroy shooter. He shot a 2-year-old kid in the back.
Hush for a second.
I think that basically opens you up to whatever the hell anybody wants to do with you is fair game. In that case, I'm okay with lynch mobs if that's the case. Just turn them loose on the public.
In my case, I think
that's also very dangerous. There was I forget exactly where it was, but there was a mob of people who
nice try.
Who wrongfully so I will say now came to a conclusion that a 44-year-old man was a pedophile. They were 100% wrong. It was proven that they were wrong, but before anyone could prove that he was, they dragged him out of his home into the street and burned him alive.
Okay, so here's what I would say. You have a situation to where you have people who don't have any justice. I'd actually be okay if you're not comfortable with saying a government institution that does it, then be comfortable with a government institution that says public do what you will with it. after a fair trial. So you get a fair trial. If you're proven guilty in that fair trial, you are going to face whatever the justice public wants to throw at you. And I think that's fair.
In my case, I think I'm all for the death penalty. After, like he was saying, a trial and it's proven without a shadow of a doubt that you have committed this crime. I'm like a quick death, a quick public death, or even just having the government do a quick death. It's fine with me. Like, I don't like the whole extra stuff. Okay, that I don't mind if that doesn't happen. But they should, in my opinion, if you commit a crime that's violent, you should be killed.
Down to 10 seconds.
Be it fast or be it anything, as long as it's under the law of, and that you're being proven that you have and were guilty.
Well, we're not talking, of course, all crimes. I mean, for me, what I'm saying is,
Yeah, me either.
If you attack somebody and attempt to kill them, yeah, you should be killed at that point. Just because you weren't successful and you sucked at killing someone doesn't mean you should get the right to try again.
Shit. Got one Twitch.
I moved out the damn way. I'm sucking ass tonight. And then the other side of it is mental health. We need more mental health institutions to where you can be, your rights will be taken away if you are deemed not to be operable within your own mental health.
To your pistol roof.
Ooh,
I mean, there has to be a definition to where, you know, what mental illnesses would constitute that.
Okay, which mental illnesses would you say?
It depends on what it is and the severity of it.
Shit.
Okay, so what would it be?
I have no idea.
So for me, if somebody says that they want to do themselves harm or do another person harm, they should be
One
killed.
friendly remaining.
Okay.
They should lose the right to
Shit.
civil ability to...
Oh, fucking, I was shooting too. What the
All
hell?
friendlies were
Good try,
eliminated.
miss. Good try. They should lose the right to take care of their own accordance, because, I mean, think about it. If you're at the place to where you're ready to kill yourself, we're not talking about 100% permanent. We're not talking about something else. We're talking about a safe place that you can go. It may not be the best place, but it's a place that's going to keep you alive. And that's fair, in my opinion. When you go through and you look at what we have right now, we have a bunch of people. Take, for instance, this Ohio shooter who ended up going through and shooting up the bar over there and killing 6 people with a 100-round drum mag in a weapon.
Oh shit, I don't know how to pick.
And he had intended to kill as many people as possible. He had cased out the joint. He had made sure that it was basically a gun-free zone for what he had thought. Fortunately, there were police on the scene who put the guy down in 30 seconds from when he started shooting. But it still wasn't fast enough. 9 people were dead. And this is a case of somebody who in school, he had a hit list and a rape list that was well known. His school knew about it. Yeah, Dayton,
Oh,
Ohio.
shit.
My bad. I'm just as bad as Biden right now.
Yeah, in cases like that, absolutely, I agree.
Well, and that's what.
But there also has to be a limit to it. If, and that's a big if, someone can be treated.
Located and defused.
Well, even if they can't be treated, you provide a place that they can stay and live.
Yeah,
Without
I agree.
I mean, otherwise you've got problems.
Oh shit, sorry.
I do also agree and disagree when it comes to people wishing to harm on themselves. If someone is in an unstable mental state, then yes. But I hold the personal belief that everybody has the right to do what they wish with their life, so long as
Riven,
it doesn't
here, take this.
impact the lives of other people directly and intentionally, such as, you know, killing other people.
Take the diffuser.
But if someone doesn't want to live anymore, they have the right
Thank you.
to not live anymore. They don't have to. We shouldn't force people to do it if they truly and honestly don't want to anymore and hold such views in a stable mind.
That makes no sense whatsoever. You could argue that it is not a stable mind at that point. There's a certain point to where you get to that, okay, if you're dying of liver failure or heart disease, there was a recent case of a girl who had just had her 29th birthday. Because she was married, and she was a gorgeous girl, because she was not married, she ended up going to several years because she hadn't been married and had kids yet. That was what her reasoning was.
Diffuser is no longer in your
And
possession.
life is petty when
One
you think
friendly
about that
operator
way.
remaining.
Life is a journey. It's not about just going through and doing this. And everybody needs
Yeah,
a
half this
hand
game,
at some point.
boys.
Again, I can't say, you know, I'm not an authority on saying what constitutes what, but I still hold the belief that that every person has the right to decide if they want to continue living.
Nice try.
Friendlies have been eliminated.
Nice try. Okay.
And I mean, if someone is making a sound decision, yes. If someone's not making a sound decision, you know, and again, I'm not the one to say whether or not whether or not what their decision is sound.
Okay, so
In their
take,
own
for
mind.
instance, the girl who was raped at 17. This is a recent case, a recent study. She was raped at 14 years old. At 17, she decided to be literally put down by her government. And they allowed it. She's 17 years old. She said she has post-traumatic stress from it. She doesn't want to live anymore because she was raped this time. It's a horrible thing. She's a beautiful young girl who has many, many years to live. Why would we allow that? Why? All wounds are healed with time. There's so many wounds that people have that in a split second they think they're cognitive, but they're not. There are so many times when people jump off bridges and do these things, but they're not cognitive of the moment. And of course, once you end up seeing the people that ended up surviving some of these things, say, yeah, I wasn't freaking cognitive of that at all when I was going down. It was only once I was actually jumping that I realized I wanted to live. And then somehow they miraculously survived. But that's few and far between. But that's the series of events that we have. So you have these bullshit events that happen to people. Somebody gets a divorce and you think my life is over and I'm just going to kill myself. And that's what we have now.
And defuse it.
Yeah, I agree that a lot of people who do attempt suicide and fail, yeah, a lot of them do end up, you know, finding that they don't want to do that. But at the same time, I still believe that everybody has the right to decide whether they want their life to continue. Nobody has the right to tell them that they have to continue living. Nobody has that right to tell them that.
Doc downstairs.
Shit,
I
yeah.
don't have
Doc
any way to
upstairs.
get in here.
Hey, fucking Windows key. Where the fuck did my window open?
You guys okay?
You must recover the diffuser.
We're just talking, you know.
Operator,
There's no need
Oh,
to be
absolutely.
upset.
Oh, absolutely. We're still friends. It's
Yeah.
just discussions.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. Nobody is gonna.
I'm
be
just
upset.
checking. I'm the motherly person here. I'm gonna be like checking in.
Oh,
on
absolutely. No,
everyone.
I don't get upset.
Yeah.
Unless you are actively attempting to, you know,
No, I definitely
be
understand.
disrespectful, then I'll have a problem. Otherwise, It's just
Never
being-
need
James is the
that.
most homophobic, horrible person I've ever met in my life. I'm just...
Hey, that's slander.
Can we do a
that-
custom? I
that
got an abandoned
honest-
sanction.
What? That's so dumb.
What happened?
I alt F4 right after I died, so.
Oh. I thought you left because you were upset. I'm like, oh no. But you did really good.
All right, Dreams, you got an invite. Demon,
Yay.
you got an invite. Mist, you got an invite. Fish, you got an invite.
Alright. I'm loading.
I pissed at the game and I muted myself so I could scream fuck as loud as I could.
That would have been great
And-
content.
I've been refraining from punching something because I don't.
I
need all my
constantly,
hands.
like now, I constantly slam my mouse into my desk, and I never used to do that. Like whenever I mess up, I'm like, no, and I slam my hand into the
Well,
desk.
currently there's a hole in my that I have patched in my wall behind my monitor. This is my
Pitch it in.
Oh.
I've busted my hand, broken a keyboard. I've broken 2 mice. So.
All right, Fish decided to pop out for a little bit.
Yep.
But no, this is actually what we're missing in our society. There are these questions that need to be answered. There are these questions that need to be asked originally. There are way too many problems in our society, way too many laws, way too many situations that we have that are cropping up and nobody's addressing them in one way or another. And in the state of California, what we've seen, I try to be my very best to look at history and what has worked in historical times. So for
You
instance-
also have to look into context, in which, in the evolution of society, and understand that sometimes things that worked before will not work now, because of the evolution of society and culture.
And I don't accept that completely, because here's my premise on it. We had times to where, like the stockades, you end up getting that whole little situation to where you're put in. It's uncomfortable as fuck. You get shamed by the townsfolk. You have everybody who's walking around you. I think that's more effective than a year in prison, to be honest. I mean, think about it.
It can, but it also might not. It depends on the society, right? In some places, someone put in a stockade won't care about it all that much. Like they likely would care at least a bit, but they don't have people that they are intimately connected to in a community shaming them. It's just random people, faces that they haven't seen before and will never see again.
And that's not exactly the case, especially.
It's not
especially
always the
letting it
case,
go
but it
on.
is the case in
So
instant.
You'll give them an hour reprieve and then they'll go back to it. So depending on the offense, if it's a small offense, like I already said, I believe death penalty. It may not go as far as skinning them alive, but as far as I'm concerned, if you shoot a 2-year-old in the back with a freaking gun for a hate crime or something like that, you deserve to be skinned alive on public television. And
It's
that
the
won't
worst,
deter anybody. And if you're in a situation to where you've tried to attempt murder, I believe you just quietly are taken off and you are put down. Because as far as I'm concerned, attempted murder is murder in the heart. That's basically what it comes down to. If you have murder in your heart, you're not going to change that. And I hate to say that.
I mean, it also depends on the situation.
Okay, like what?
There are instances in which people attempt to kill other people out of proven moments of insanity or under the effects of a drug, right?
And those are few and far between, my friend.
Yes and no. It,
are convicted of crimes badly and wrongly. It's like 0.25%. So out of
well,
100
no, because I mean, if you kill someone while on a drug, it's still murder. But it's not, you have to say it has to be. Okay, I'll say this.
Who caused you to take that drug? I mean, Think about it. You're a parent of the 2-year-old kids that get shot in the back. Do you care if that person took a drug and decided to do that, or do you want to see justice apply?
5 seconds.
No, but you have to take in consideration that just because yes, they did take that drug, yes, they are responsible for that. But if they would not have killed someone, if they had not been on that drug, then you cannot say that they gladly or actively were trying to murder someone. That's why we have degrees of murder. That's why we have first degree, second degree murder, because the importance is intention. The act is important, but the intention of the act is also extremely vital to consider.
So here's the problem that I have with it. You see all the time now, there are people who behave with disregard to human life as a whole. You see that there are people who just don't care one way or the other. You took my kill! I'm injured! I'm so disappointed in you and your human existence.
I had a gun. She walked in the door.
So here's the problem. More often than not, in my opinion, and this is an opinion, in my opinion, more often than not, there are people who behave with human disregard. They don't care about what they do. They have people that they don't care if they die. They don't care what ends up happening to that person. And they behave in a way that they're not intentionally trying to kill someone, but they just don't care. That person is a person that I don't believe deserves to live anymore. You have somebody who drives recklessly, who drives drunk, who just doesn't care overall. That person doesn't deserve to live anymore. That's my thought on it. And you say that, and then the next thing you know is, sure, you have this as a society thing that originally ends up happening. Yeah, there are deaths
what the fuck?
that occur from
Window,
it.
bathroom window?
But what ends up happening is the society as a whole ends up saying, okay, well, it's not worthy of an endeavor to run down the street at 120 miles an hour street racing while I'm drunk.
I injured her. I injured her. Gridlock's injured. That's the last person right there. Or the last. What?
Nice try, James.
Right. We just picked up Gridlock.
Alright, I think we've beaten a dead horse now. Let's move to other things.
It was a good conversation on that one. That one definitely we got in depth to what we were actually thinking. Like that one actually got more of a conversation than all our other conversations actually.
Well, and it is a tough situation, and some of it I try to go by historically what made the most difference, and we do have a lot of history on these things. We have a lot of history on death, and I mean, to take it to the extreme, one of the things that a lot of people will say is extreme is that if your child is disrespecting you and he's being bad, back in the old days of biblical times, if biblical records are being accurate and truthful, which for the most part, from what I've seen, they have been, is you'd take your son to the city plaza and they'd stone him to death. And that would be it. You didn't have the crime that you have now. You didn't have the people who are doing the bad things that they do now. And there's an element of it to where you want to be kind to somebody. You want to take into the problems into account.
10 seconds.
But the problem is we do that so much with so many people, and then you end up having so many people who go and repeat the same offenses, and you will lose people. I'm not saying you won't. You will lose people who may have reformed themselves. There's that 1 out of 10 who may have done better. But when you consider into account the lives of the people who haven't done anything, who are affected by the 9 people who go out and recommit those crimes, then that blood is on your hands because of the decision that you decided to make.
Where was that from?
You got one in blue and you got one
Damn it.
upstairs.
Yeah, Jaeger.
That was just fortunate.
You guys got this. I believe in you guys.
Here, have another drink.
I think you're done with this. I
What?
think you're done with this.
I'm actually just slightly buzzed right now. I'm happy. I feel like I should have bought a bigger bottle.
Friendly last
Ask him to
operator
pick us
standing.
up because of our gas situation. And tell him that next free paycheck I'll catch him up with $20.
There's somebody to your left.
Op 4 eliminated all
In our
friendlies.
Discord, so I can't fucking tell him shit.
Okay, it's probably not something that you guys follow at all, but Rajida Tlaib. She recently ended up being told that she couldn't go to Jerusalem because she's considered an enemy of Jerusalem for the fact that she holds the standpoint that Jews should not be allowed to exist as a nation state, and the nation decided that they wouldn't allow her in there considering her anti-Israel rhetoric. What's your guys' opinion on that? Should you allow somebody who thinks that your nation should be completely wiped out into your nation, or should you not allow them? Should you have that right?
I'm trying to find out why they would want to even be in the nation if they want to wipe out the entire nation.
So what it comes down to is religious sites. The Muslims and the Christians share a lot of the same religious sites.
Secure the
And from
bombs.
what I've heard that may or may not be accurate, the Muslims ended up having a relationship in Abraham's day in the Bible where they had a period of time to where Abraham took a slave girl as his wife, bore children of that woman, and then the woman who was his wife got jealous and kicked him out, and that's how the Muslims ended up coming from that offspring. So they shared a lot of the same history, but they ended up distorting the history based upon what
Down to
ended up
10
happening.
seconds.
So the Muslims ended up, for instance, believing in in Abraham. They believed in a lot of the things that he represented, but by the same token, they don't believe for exact same God that the Christians do. And so you have a nation that believes that the Jews have no right to that land; they shouldn't even be allowed to exist, and you have a person who wants to still be able to go there for religious purposes, should that be allowed?
If someone wishes upon the destruction of an entire nation and people, and there is a nation that is controlled by those people, absolutely they have the right to refuse that person to enter.
I'm gonna use. I've got. Don't reinforce that, please. I've got
No?
to be around
Okay.
there. And I'm gonna wait for somebody to try and walk over.
Actually, I'm not even caught up on that one either, though. I don't really know much about what we know with that one, so...
Okay, so this is a recent article.
I got it. I got the drone.
Thanks. Okay, so there's a few articles to go over here. Oh crap, I haven't even realized that I've been on.
You're not watching. Oh, okay. Okay, fucking K. Let's not watch the fucking door anymore.
Dark stream.
One friendly operator remaining.
Damn it. Oh shit. Where's it coming from?
Far door. Ash. Behind the gargoyle statue.
Hoping for the best.
They drone you. Move.
Damn it. Shit.
Nice try.
Failed. All friendlies have been neutralized.
Okay, so this
I'm
is
just
an
gonna
article
give you a word
here.
of advice. If you're gonna peek a long angle to how they have a chance of being far away from you, peek it with your pistol.
I know I
Because that shotgun's gonna. The recoil on that shotgun takes you to the freaking ceiling after one shot.
Yeah.
So
Getting
peek with your pistol.
Okay, so the grandmother of Rashida Tlaib, Democrat of Missouri, stated on Saturday that she hopes God will ruin President Donald Trump after the Congresswoman made the decision to forego her trip to Israel over the country's racist policies. I was so happy that she was coming. Mufta Tlaib.
Yes.
Fire, you okay? I don't know.
They're not hearing me.
When he tries to talk or whatever, it sounds like somebody is taking an air blower and blowing it right into the mic.
Yeah, it's
bad. Like,
it sounds like his mic got transported to the abyss.